Hey everyone, if you enjoy my stories and want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel Voices of Auntie Zoe. I'd love to have you join the community. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay up to date on my latest videos. The living room was bathed in the flickering glow of the TV, the late-night news droning on about a world far removed from ours. We'd been sitting in a fraught silence, the tension between us thickened by hours of unspoken words. He was a man I'd loved, or thought I had, Max, with his sharp jaw and eyes that once held warmth. I was Leah, a freelance writer trying to find my voice in the hum of his expectations. He turned off the TV with a sudden click, the screen going black like a curtain dropping. "Get out," he said, the words low and raw, cutting through the air like a knife. I stayed quiet, frozen on the couch, as if the command was a physical force pushing me back into the shadows. No anger, no tears, just an eerie stillness. I'd lived with him for 3 years, sharing laughs, dinners, and the small comforts of routine. But the cracks had been showing for months, arguments over nothing, nights he'd stay out late, the slow fade of intimacy. This was the explosion we'd both seen coming. I didn't move. Maybe I was waiting for him to take it back, to apologize, to shatter the sudden vacuum. He didn't. He stood there, his chest rising and falling, eyes averted, as if he'd said too much and couldn't take it back. The walls seemed to close in, the shadows in the room growing darker. Finally, I rose, mechanically gathering my things, a bag, my phone, a jacket slung over the chair. I didn't look at him. The air was thick as I walked to the door, the only sound the soft thud of my shoes on wood. I stepped out into the night, the cool Manchester air hitting me like a slap. The streetlights cast long shadows as I walked, not knowing where, just away. By evening, he'd helped me secure a safe place to stay, a small flat in a quiet part of Chorlton. He arranged for someone to collect my things from Max's apartment while I packed essentials in a numb daze. Emily hugged me tight before I left, tears in her eyes. "You're not alone, Leah." The days that followed were a haze of paperwork, counseling sessions, and tentative breaths. Alex checked in often, not as a lawyer now, but as a steady friend. We'd meet for coffee, talk about books, the city, anything but the pain. I started writing again, short stories, messy poems, pouring the ache into words. One afternoon, as I settled into my new flat, Alex appeared again, this time with a bouquet of wildflowers. "A fresh start," he said, smiling softly. We cooked dinner together, pasta, laughter, no shadows. The conversation drifted to his own stories, losses he'd weathered. Maybe it was the start of something unexpected. The man who'd told me to leave? I filed for separation, focusing on healing. The silence had broken me, but it also cracked something open. I learned to say no, to ask for help, to find the edges of myself again. Weeks turned into months. The counseling helped untangle the knots. I started a writing group, sharing stories with strangers who became friends. Alex was there, steady, never pushing, just being. We didn't label it, but something gentle grew between us. A care that wasn't about fixing, just about being. One night, under a clear sky in Platt Fields Park, I told him, "Thank you for showing up." He looked at me, the city lights soft behind him. "You were already showing up, Leah. I just helped you hear it. Maybe the story doesn't end here. Maybe it's just beginning." The weight of that silence still lingers, but now there's space around it, a breath. And in the quiet, I'm learning to speak again. Thanks for watching. I will see you in next video. Take care, viewers. The hours blurred. I ended up at Emily's place, a friend from university days, crashing on her couch. Sleep evaded me, thoughts spinning like a broken record. What had I done wrong? Why hadn't I seen it coming? The question swirled, suffocating. The next day, a knock on Emily's door broke the haze. A man stood there, tall and composed, with an air of quiet authority. "I'm Alex," he said, handing me a business card. "A lawyer, specializing in family law. You're listed as a contact for the apartment. There's been an incident." I explained the night before, the eviction feeling surreal as I spoke. Alex listened intently, his expression a mix of concern and calculation. "We should talk about your options," he said, stepping inside as Emily hovered nearby. We sat down in her small kitchen, and he walked me through the legal steps, getting a temporary shelter, filing for a protection order if needed, securing my belongings. As we talked, fragments of my life surfaced. The fights, the broken promises, the slow erosion of self. Alex listened without judgment, offering practical steps instead of platitudes. He had a way of making the chaos feel manageable, a roadmap where I'd seen only walls.